I hate to be that guy, but I almost have to question if this has anything to do at all with Brock's current relationship with WWE, that they would book him in a way like this, because this doesn't seem like Lesnar at all.
Right.
Because that's an excellent point, Ashton, that you made. I didn't even really think about like how Heyman built up what Reigns would have to do to take the title off of Lesnar, and then immediately after, Reigns does it like it's a cakewalk. Like, you know, we always call Brock Lesnar like the final boss in a video game.
Yeah.
Reigns treated it like it was level 1.
Yeah.
And
Roman
you know,
Reigns used the frickin' cloud cheat to get straight to Bowser in Super Mario.
Exactly. You know, it's just freaking crazy to me. And I think my biggest problem is you and I think even the people that are like, oh, I wish I would see, you know, Lesnar more and this and that, they realize how legitimate he is. It is amazing to have an ass kicker as the world champion.
Yeah.
And that's the note he goes out on before a really big defense at the biggest show of the year, WrestleMania. I'm just not feeling it.
Give me my title back, man. No, I don't want to. Come on, man. It's not yours. It's mine. Give it back. Screw you. It's mine. No, it's mine. And this is how you build up to your biggest match of the year.
And then a seagull comes out from the crowd and just swoops it from both of them.
Mine? Mine?
Yeah.
You say seagull, but I was thinking more along the lines of, I don't know, Mr. Money in the Bank, Seth Rollins.
Yeah, really. How great would it have been if he had come up and, I mean, he's so entangled with Randy Orton, it would have made no sense.
Yeah.
But if he had come out and just kind of raised his briefcase and laughed while those two were playing with the belt like children.
And then Orton comes out and RKO's him.
RKO'd ended. Fatal 4-way at Mania. But, yeah, man, I've said all I really want to say about this closing segment. Otherwise, I'd be running around in circles. So if there's anything else you want to say, I think we can get into our formal review. Or if you have any other heats of the night or nitpicks.
No, I think my thing is, to me, what made this so tragic is, like what I said, it felt like they were trying to stage that, like, UFC pre-fight weigh-in photo op, where the guys both have their hands on the championship. Like, I was almost expecting them to both raise their fists and look like they were going to punch each other and then just look at the camera and smile. Like, that's how incredibly posed and scripted and corny this whole interaction looked. And I just, it's embarrassing at the end of the day, because it's one of those things where you come to expect a certain quality to the build up to WrestleMania, and then this year happens and it all goes down the drain. And like, we were planning on taking this off season in the fall, and it's like, I feel like the quality of Raw hasn't gotten that much better since then. So it's like, what's even the point at this point?
You know what? It's funny you say that, because I am inclined to agree. I just feel like, I feel so bad for Reigns that this is all happening right now, because you have so many people saying, oh, he's not ready, this, that, and the other. And I'm wrong. I have my own reservations for sure, but I think you and I have been a lot fairer to him than a lot of the other commentators that you and I see, you know, respectively. And it just didn't come off good at all. Like, I would have popped if he speared Lesnar. That would have been so cool. But just nothing, you know? What are you going to do?
Oh, man. I think this is the first time ever that we're going to have a Raw review where we literally don't even talk about the main event, because it was our only heat of the night.
Yeah, that's crazy to think about. So with that said, Ashton, do you have any other points you want to make about the main event segment? Or, again, do you have any other nitpicks or heats of the night in general?
I think that I do. I mean, I don't know if you would call it a heat of the night or a nitpick, but the other big problem that I have is that none of the three, I already kind of touched on it, none of the three big main event matches for WrestleMania have had any real physical interactions whatsoever. It's horrible. Like, Sting finally shows up and we get no physical interaction there. The Undertaker still hasn't shown up. And now this main event segment tonight with Reigns and Lesnar, and there's no real physical interaction there either. It's just, again, I kind of said it earlier, it's almost like they overcompensated, where they knew they weren't going to have any physical interaction on the three main events, so they just overcompensated by having way too much physical interaction for the IC title match.
Yeah, you know, I can definitely see where you're coming from there.
And the US title match, too, which was awesome tonight.
That was an amazing segment. Yeah, the really good segments on the show I can't wait to talk about. But just very quickly, to your point about, you know, Triple H and Sting, I enjoyed the segment, but I agree with you. What would it have been to see Sting eat a pedigree or something? I feel like this feud has been so one-sided.
See, but again, though,
You
I
know,
think that's just them trying to sort of uphold the mystique of Sting.
and I can appreciate that, and I
Because
can understand that.
as
Yeah,
soon as Triple H pedigrees him, he's just like everyone else that Triple H has ever pedigreed. He's just like every other legend that's fallen to the knees at Triple H. Like I don't know. I like that they've kept Sting strong throughout this. And if I'm being completely honest, I could even see Sting losing to Triple H at WrestleMania. But I'm glad that throughout the build-up, they've kept him strong.
and I certainly agree with you. I don't know. I think I'm just looking for a little something from Triple H. And again, to be fair, he is the heel, and he's a certain type of heel, so I don't think his actions are out of accordance,
And what's
with the
really
character of the
amazing,
legend.
and this is about to go down a little bit of a rabbit hole, but what's really amazing is that if you kind of pay attention to what Triple H has been doing with this whole Sting feud, it lines up so well with Max Landis' portrayal of his character in Wrestling Isn't Wrestling.
That's very true. That's very
It's
true.
one of the, because like the whole thing is like Triple H is scared shitless of Sting, and so he's kind of playing these mental gymnastics to say, well, you were a part of WCW, and I was a part of WWE when we took down WCW, so therefore I beat you.
Yeah.
It's kind of like the mind games that he was playing with the Undertaker between their two WrestleMania matches, where he was like in the video, yeah, but I got in a lot of good hits, so I kind of beat you.
Yeah, more or less. I mean, that's an excellent point. It's funny because I can really appreciate the build. Really, I can. I'm looking forward to this because, it's Sting, it's Mania, and I really feel like this is one of the matches where atmosphere is really going to pay off. Because you just see it and you think that you never would have seen it. So that alone makes it special. I think I was just looking for a little something from Triple H. I don't know. We'll see what happens on SmackDown. Probably nothing really.
Right.
But overall, yeah, I don't really have many gripes with this. I just agree with you. Just maybe something a little bit more physical. That's why I almost wish he maybe would have, I don't know, pedigreed Booker T or Ric Flair when he was interacting with them. Just something to really say, you know what? I am the game. I am the cerebral assassin. But also by being so physical, you're showing, yeah, I am a little bit afraid. I'm kind of going out of my mind. I just need to show that I can beat Sting. I can take the fight to him. And yeah, just something about that confrontation tonight really left me feeling kind of lacking a little bit.
Yeah, that's my thing, is the lack of physical interaction before the pay-per-view, because like I get it. That's a really good way to build up to a match, is you have the guys not touch for a certain amount of time, and then when the match happens it's like this big deal. But the problem is when every match is being built that way.
Yeah, and dude, I mean, let's be real here.
It's kind of like that one, like at NXT R Evolution, I said that this was an amazing show, but it wasn't a perfect show, and the only complaint that I had about it was that there are too many suicide dives. It's like something can be awesome, but even something awesome, if it gets done too many times within a certain time period, it stops being awesome. And when you have a feud that's getting built up with no physical contact, that can be awesome, but when every super important match on one show is being built up that exact same way, it gets tedious.
Yeah, I mean, let's be real here. I feel like again, this comes back in its own unique way to Reigns Lesnar because I feel like that responsibility to have some kind of physical interaction should have fallen on that match.
Yeah.
For one thing, I feel like it made the most sense anyway, and two, no disrespect to anybody else in their main events, but Roman Reigns and Brock Lesnar collectively are the youngest guys having the main event match, so they can handle a little bit of physicality. I don't really see again why that didn't transpire because now we're left with two segments. Well, one which we enjoyed and everything, but then the other it just comes off really awkward, and we're just left as a whole thinking, well, let's get to Mania so it can finally all pay off. So it's weird.
Yeah. All right, and my third and final heat of the night.
Okay.
Yeah, I know. Is actually diva related. So, but here's the thing: it doesn't have to do with any specific divas, which is why I'm allowed to do it. It's actually to do with the construction or the format of Raw, and it's simple. Every single week now, since hashtag Give Divas a Chance has become a thing, there's been a commercial during the Divas match on Raw.
Yeah.
And that trend continued tonight. And it almost feels like they're taunting us to a degree. I'm going to be honest, because it's like people say, give Divas a chance. And then they're like, okay, we'll give the Divas an 8-minute match with a 3-minute or a 4-minute commercial in the middle. And then we'll give them a 9-minute match with a 3 or 4. Like they're giving them longer matches each week, but on that same note, every single one has a commercial in it. Like, I'm waiting for the day where we get a 15-minute Divas match on Raw that has 2 commercial breaks in it.
Yeah. And really, the only people who benefit from those longer matches with that kind of structure are A, people with the WWE app, and B, people in the crowd. For people like me, and I think you do have the WWE app, don't you? I know
I
you
do,
or you're
yeah.
one. Yeah, but
I'm one of the 17.3 million, which is just a truly incredible number, given that no more than 4 million people watch Raw in any given week.
Yeah, exactly. But for people like me, it's kind of an annoyance just thinking, oh, I wonder what they're doing. I wonder what cool spots have transpired. Since I tuned in. Oh, look at that, McDonald's chicken fry, or no, Burger King chicken fries. Excuse me. And that even got a plug tonight, which I'm sure we'll talk about a bit later. But yeah,
Yeah.
even that got a little bit more time, collectively. And it's just like, oh man. And you know what? It's a shame too, because I really enjoyed the Divas match we had tonight. It's just a shame that we had that break in between.
Yeah, I would agree. Yeah, it's pretty obnoxious, but yeah, that's my third heat of the night. And you said that your only heat of the night was the Lesnar Reigns thing, right?
That's correct.
All right, well then, brother, let's move on.